live work session. This is Diane Hockman. I'm joined by Bridget Scott, and this is a first for me. She is actually using Wi-Fi in her vehicle and is parked, and we're doing a live from the car, which I think is pretty gosh darn cool. So if any of you guys watch this, if at any point, I won't be paying attention to the comments or anything. If you need anything, you can always reach out to me at diane@dianehockman.com. I am going to be traveling for a while, so I won't be taking any of these sessions for a little bit, which is why we're doing it from the car. Because but if anybody wanted to find out about how to book one of these, definitely reach out to me and or jump on my newsletter at dianehockman.com. So Miss Bridget, what are we working on today? Tell me what we're going to do.
Well, I'm mostly concerned about a good follow-up. I feel like I think I know pretty much as far as funnels, Facebook. I mean, I'm always learning new things, but constantly a student. But I'm ready to just really implement some things, and I need to make sure that I have a good follow-up process in place so that when all these leads start piling in, I can keep up with them because they are starting. I'm getting a lot of traction lately. So I want to make sure, because I still work a full-time job during the day and I need a good process.
Okay. So are we talking following up with leads, or are we talking following up with, like, give me a scenario?
Yeah, following up with leads, I think. Knowing when to consider them a lead, you know, that's a big...
When somebody just opts in and you get their name and their email, they're not a lead. They're actually, let me back that up. They are a lead. They're not a prospect yet.
Gotcha.
Okay? Somebody just opted in to download a free something or other, or wants to hear about something, or they came to a webinar or something that's connected to your autoresponder. They are a lead. Okay. And a lot of people misunderstand the difference between the lead and a prospect. A lead is somebody who's kind of like curious, and a prospect is somebody who's raised their hand or indicated they want to know more.
Gotcha.
Two different people. So with a lead, the follow-up process is simply, and you're talking about somebody who opts in?
Yes.
That's simply your email follow-up. Whether you're broadcasting live, and stop me if I talk about anything that you're not familiar with. You may have a follow-up sequence of letters that are already pre-programmed, or you may be writing live, like in person. I personally write to my list live. Like I literally sit down and write to them. I don't have a bunch of pre-programmed stuff.
Okay.
Occasionally when I'm traveling, I'll pre-write some things. Some marketers, like, depending on who you're marketing with, sometimes you're given letter sets that you can set up.
Okay.
And those are great, but I find that people respond best when they know there's a human being on the other side.
Right, so that it doesn't sound canned.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, canned worked for a long time, but today, not as much. People can tell the difference. Like, I just did a session with this girl, Angela, and she's Southern, she's from Kentucky. She's a former nurse. She's just the nicest lady.
Yes, lives close to me.
Oh yeah, there you go. And so, like, if Angela had this like really slick copy, it would never fit because that's not her personality. She's a come on over for a piece of pie person. She's not a let me show you how it works person. That's the difference in the energy. So that's why I do like to write personally. Now, when you are using an autoresponder and following up with leads, it's very important that they get regular communication from you. You can't write them. I see people, they go to all the trouble to set up the autoresponder, and then you only send them out something once a month, out of sight, out of mind.
So what kind of frequency are you talking about then?
Well, you're not going to like what I say, but I'll give you my I tell people, if you want to get good at email, you should write every day for 90 days, and then you can start to space it out.
Oh, that sounds reasonable.
And the reason why is because if you write every day, you get good real quick. A lot of people will only write once a week. Well, that's only 52 letters in the course of the whole year. You're just not going to get that good.
Right.
And then the other response that I get from people when I say that is, well, what the heck am I supposed to write about?
I think
And that
that's the big problem. Yeah.
really has a lot to do with what you're marketing and the content you have available. So I know some of the things you're marketing, but give me a little idea of what you're marketing.
Well, health and wellness in multiple streams, really. A non-toxic home, healthy lifestyle. Can't tell by looking at me, but deep down, there is a healthy person. Yeah, yeah,
I don't, you know what? I've learned not to judge because I've watched people that are cross country runners get sick and other people that are, I come from pretty hardy stock of people and we tend to carry around a little bit more weight than other
right.
people tolerate, without developing, all the diseases and stuff that somebody else would develop quickly. So I don't prejudge. I just like people to be happy and healthy and do their thing.
But I mean, I started, and this was just a coincidental. It wasn't a real relevant to what I'm doing now, but I started a private group on Facebook and just kind of said, hey, if you want to, get a little motivation, a little encouragement, blah, blah, blah. And I'm getting some momentum over there. I've also given them a little disclaimer, hey, I'm trying a product, not going to be pushing it on anybody, but if you want more info, you're going to have to reach out to me. You might hear me talk about it a little bit, but not here to sales or spammy anybody. But and they're loving that group. But how to, I have to be really cautious on Facebook. Everybody knows what I'm doing. Had a little personal things going on to where I wasn't really on Facebook very much, and I was a little concerned. But gosh, my people are there. They're still, coming on, and they've encouraged me to, hey, you haven't been live in a while, and blah blah blah. And right now I'm in the middle of a 14-day challenge. Our buddy Ray, yeah, and they love that. So just trying to make sure that I don't lose my momentum. And when it comes to following up, making sure I can differentiate between who's really just there because they're friends or they like me, and who's there because they're really interested.
Let me give you a couple thought processes. One, the reason that we have these groups and we build a list and so on, a newsletter, the reason why we do it is because we want to serve a community. So a lot of people, what happens is they build something because they want to make money. And of course we all want to make money, but that can't be the motivation, because if you want to make money and you write a couple letters and didn't make money right away, you'll stop writing the letters.
Absolutely.
If you want to make money and you go in the Facebook group and you drop something and it didn't make money right away, you'll stop serving the group. These communities are places where you gather people, and it gives you the opportunity to talk about what you're up to or the things that you're interested in. And what starts to happen is, like, let's say you're talking about non-toxic home, right? And you're talking about your friend was using a product and she didn't realize that one of the ingredients was causing her child to be itchy. Whatever, I'm making that up.
Right.
People will start to communicate in the thread, and or if you sent out a letter about that, I always encourage people, hit reply, write me back. Let me know, do you have any good solutions for this? Or what did you do? So when people start writing me back and or engaging in the Facebook threads, that means they're turned on by whatever topic we're talking about, okay? And the more somebody's engaging, the more I'm likely to reach out to them.
I kind of thought that. I was kind of picking up on that, and that was something I was looking for, was the affirmation that was kind of a good sign. I mean, again, don't want to be sending stuff to the wrong people, but I figure if they're commenting and they're, talking about their journey as well, they're kind of looking for that same thing. So.
Yeah. And so, but here's what's interesting. Most people, when they hear reach out or whatever, they think I'm going to reach out with my offer. I don't reach out with my offer initially, because I've been so clear about what I do that when I reach out to someone, sometimes I'll message someone to say hi. And then they're like, oh my God, I saw your pictures. You're looking so incredible. What are you doing? They ask me before I even I have any reason to approach them. Okay.
Right.
So if you're matter of fact and visible about what you're doing, you're doing videos about, cleaning your home non-toxic, or you're talking about, like me, I'm just showing some pictures of, looking different, or showing pictures that I'm walking in the morning, which anybody that knows me for any period of time knows. Um, it's a miracle, but she's out or posting, I did 10,000 steps, or my kids are always like, going out walking again today? I'm like, yes. Or a picture of half my food. And I'm not doing it like slick. I'm doing it to share what's going on with me. And then some people are like, oh my gosh, I can never not eat all my food. How did you do that?
There you go.
It's very easy to say, I'm just using this new product, and they have a 7-day package if you want to try it. Very matter of fact. And then sometimes, like yesterday, I had 2 people come back with, they have some health issue. And I was like, look, I can give you the labels. You can show them to your doctor. I couldn't tell you whether it's the best product for you or not. I just know what's happening to me. So I don't push it down anybody's throat. But at the same time, I have opportunity to show it to people all day. And the less I try to show it to people, the more I get to show it to people.
I was just going to say, I've noticed that. Absolutely. And like you, I'm just naturally sharing it because I'm excited about it. I want their encouragement, and I get a lot of motivation from them cheering me on. So, it turns out then they're asking the questions, and it's not, it's like you said, it's very natural. Yes. That part
you have to be a little patient for that, because a lot of people want to go, here, look at this, and they want everybody to go. Because it's so funny. I have people all the time. It's the same with MLSP. I've been their top affiliate. It's the same with a lot of things I do. They're like, how do you sell so much? And I'm like, because I talk about what I'm up to. I talk about what I'm up to, not trying to sell it. Because if somebody tells me that they're into ketones, therapeutic ketones or whatever, I'm like, awesome, and I'm encouraging them. I'm not trying to, attraction's like dating. Okay. If somebody tells me, if I meet a guy and I think he's cute and he tells me he's married, I'm like, awesome. You must have the most wonderful wife. She's this and that. I'm not going to keep pursuing him. He just told me I'm taken. I'm happy. I love him. Why would you pursue that? That makes no sense. But in network marketing, people go, well, I'm using ketones. And then they go, well, you have to try ours. And I'm like, no,
yeah.
Okay. I'm looking for people that are looking. I'm looking for people that are looking. I'm looking for people that are interested. I'm constantly networking and building my base of people so that those people see a change in me. I'm constantly sharing results that other people have achieved, but not in this goofy, salesy way. It's just, I'm excited for people. When I teach attraction marketing and somebody gets their first lead, I'm genuinely excited. When somebody makes their first sale, I've taken so many people, I'm like, okay, we're going to write a letter now that's going to make a sale for you. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to write a letter. I said, and when you make that first sale, you better message me and scream Yahoo. And then I'm going to message Yahoo because it works.
Right.
So I'm genuinely excited when somebody realizes they don't have to solicit to make sales. So then I turn around and I tell everybody, I'm so excited. Mary Smith just, did this and that. And she had her first passive sale through writing email copy. And then people go, how do you learn to write the copy? And then I go, well, I have a course. I also work with people individually.
It's a perfect segue. Mm-hmm.
But it's not like slick. It's not like I'm trying to maneuver something. I genuinely love what I do. I teach people. I get excited when they get a result. I'm wearing a dress today that I haven't been able to wear for 2 years. I'm genuinely excited.
Right.
Look at me.
Right.
It's not this weird, like I told everybody, I'm never going to post a picture of my stomach, my blubber gut. Nobody needs to see it. I don't have to
Ain't nobody wanting to see that. I'm the same way.
You become a supermodel and you're still not going to see that. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Don't have a picture like that. I'm never going to. It was like, but you have to take it. No, actually, I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is love other people.
Yeah. Right? Thank you.
Follow up. See, so the mindset can be, I have to follow up. That's what people always say. I have to follow up. My mindset is there's all these awesome people and I want to share cool stuff with them.
So that's how I feel lately. I'm just so energized by it in more ways than one. And I keep telling myself that, I think sometimes we struggle with finding that right fit. And when you're genuine with people, they really see that. It just shines through. And I think that is what draws people to you more than anything.
It doesn't, the product and the program don't matter nearly as your tribe that you build. Like that word's been so overused. It wouldn't have mattered what I was selling. People would have joined. Now,
Yes.
it's good that the product's really effective because that makes the reorders happen. And it wouldn't matter what I'm doing, people would join. It's because I'm out there just loving on people. And
Right.
I think the hardest thing to do for a lot of folks is to be genuine because they seem to, I watch them, they're like perfectly normal people. They get on a webinar and they turn into like,
Yeah.
guy or whatever.
Right. Just be yourself.
No, I've been doing it for 15 years in front of everybody, but most people, this is just foreign. And in the next decade, anybody who's being weird and like cheesy, it's not going to work at all anymore. I mean, this was a transition where we went from, performance, that law to kind of getting into reality. And the next decade is going to be super raw footage, that's why you'll see me, I'll put up a picture all made up and then I'll put up a picture sweaty like a pig after a walk.
And see, that's what I think when people see, I'm going to tell you, I've done a live with my jammies on before. And I'm like, because that's me. I'm not going to get all made up and make sure my hair is perfect and everything else. I'm out and about and they're going to see me like I am. And I think that's what draws people to me, that they see, she's just like me. And, and I'm a Grammy that just drove 6 hours to surprise 2 of her granddaughters that were in a regional swim meet. My husband and I totally surprised them. And
when they realized,
oh my gosh, one of them, when she got done racing, I went down there and I was like, hey, and and then it dawned on her, and she ran up in the bleachers dripping wet straight out of the pool and gave me this big old hug. Did I care that she was dripping wet? Heck no. I mean, it was amazing.
That's what I would be doing, talking, because that's what life is about.
Right.
Life isn't about being perfect. Life is about driving and being hot and 6 hours is a long ride, but to get that look,
yes,
that hug, that wet, drippy hug,
it was worth every bit of it.
It's so worth it. And that's all I've ever really done. I mean, I wish I had some super, I can write good copy, Bridget, and I have, I certainly have moves and stuff, but it's really just, for me, it's always like, people are always like, well, you have that newsletter and it's hard and it's this and that. And I'm like, it's not hard to sit down for 15 minutes and write a note to a friend. I have thousands of friends on the list.
Right.
Write a note to somebody to give them a tip or an idea or something that would help them. It's not that hard to hit the button and go live to share something helpful. Most of my lives are random. There's no schedule. There's no just something washes over me and I'm like, oh, let me tell everyone. A lot of coaches will train you that you need to do it a different way. And that's cool. And I think maybe when you're starting out, having that structure is beneficial. But we get to the point where I just want to help people. I just want to help people. And I just want to help you. I write to them because I want to help them or invite them to things. And sometimes, I want to sell them something because I want to see if something's a fit for them. I do sell a lot of stuff. A lot of times I'll send out my best 4th of July recipe. I'll send out, crazy pictures of me and the kids. I'll send out, I haven't had a chance yet, but I really do want to write a letter. My aunt passed away last week.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, thank you, hon. And she it was time, and she had a great life. But I want to write a letter, and I don't like to do it in the middle of it because then everybody starts needing to say,
right.
That's not what I'm looking for. But I want to write about, in a moment, my world tilted because I knew my parents were getting older, and I know my parents are getting older, but the idea of them being gone is so foreign and not possible.
Right.
And I watched my cousins have their mom be gone. And all of a sudden, every minute became more precious. Every minute became more special.
Your perspective, right?
Perspective changes. And I was fortunate enough that when I started my business, because my children were little and I wanted to be with them, for some reason, I grasped that time was fleeting, younger than most. And I knew that's why I'm so excited to hear your story about your 6-hour trip, because they're only that age once. They're only doing that once. And this little pocket of time is so beautiful. And to me, that's what having a home business and being able to be free is about. Now, we have to work hard to get out of the job.
Right.
But understanding how worth it is.
Absolutely.
And then the vehicle that I show them to do it with, well, that's secondary. It's secondary.
Next year I've got my 30 years in now. And next year, right now, my date is September 1st. Sooner, if I can manage it, that I'm going to retire. And, I think back to like when my parents were, raising us and whatnot. And I said, my parents both passed away at a young age, but they didn't really talk about retirement and what they were going to do in that time of their life. And for me, mine is that I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do stuff with those kids. If they want a $33 t-shirt that they're never going to wear but once, I want to buy that for my grandkids, and this side gig, it's a double benefit for me because I'm getting things from it and I get that interaction. I'm a real people person, love being around people and helping people. So it's just, and I truly, more than just like, okay, if I sell this many, it's not about that. It's about, hey, come on this journey with me. Maybe it'll work for you. And, but like I said, my follow-up is where I really need to make sure that I'm.
Yeah. So let me bring you back now, because we're talking and it's beautiful. But now the reason why you're going to do so well, a lot of people that are teaching attraction marketing out there, and I was taught by the founder of attraction marketing, the guy long before any of these guys. Not to diminish them, but a lot of it's about all the funnels and the this and the that. It's really not. It's about oscillating at a certain level so that people are attracted to you. Building this community and then serving the community. And then from the community, you're extracting money for value. And then that sounds, if you look at it from a lack perspective, that sounds yucky. If you look at it from a very wonderful perspective, I've served tens of thousands of people in this industry.
Absolutely.
And I expect that the industry, not the industry, but the people will support me. Okay. And that somebody may, what do you mean you expect they'll support you? I expect that I'm going to keep giving. And I expect that I will ask periodically for people to buy things and that people will. Okay. It's this whole mindset and expectation that has carried me through these years. So as far as follow-up is concerned, follow-up is communicating regularly and diligently, and then dropping offers of hey, like PS, like you might write a letter about driving to the swim meet and how precious that moment was. PS, down 4 pounds. So excited because when I retire, I intend to walk every mile of Disney World with my grandchildren and nothing's going to stop me.
There you go.
If you have a weight loss goal, I have a 7-day sample pack of the product I'm using. Okay, so it's about the kids, the stories about the stories, and then and I'm retiring soon, and I'm going everywhere with these kids. So
I love that. Yes.
The power. So asking someone to try a trial pack, make $15. Well, if you wrote a letter and you sold 10 of them, it's $150. Are you getting rich on $150? No. But if you start doing that every week, that's $600 before your downline showed up. That's $600 for anything. And then if you want to run a couple little ads or this and that, now you have all of these options opening up. Most people would make the whole letter and the whole communication about here's my thing, buy my thing, isn't my thing incredible? When you are you and you talk about these grandbabies, like first of all, I liked you before. I'm in love with you now because of that story. Okay?
Thank you.
but I've been saying that my kids aren't ready to settle down. One of them has a boyfriend, and one of them is trying to run the world in New York City. So, but I keep saying there is no way I'm not going to be in good shape to run around with grandchildren. I don't want to be exhausted. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be. I'm too heavy. I have to change that because there's this period, this wonderful period that I get to enjoy, and I want to enjoy it all the way. Talking about that human emotion with people is much more compelling than telling you that there's chromium picolinate in the product or whatever.
Who cares? It's the energy that I get and the weight loss that, that's happening. My knees feel better. I mean, just all that stuff. And yeah, I want to be that cool Grammy.
It's about stories, and it's about caring about people enough and understanding that they have the same hopes, wants, dreams. I just did a session today with somebody, and it was about a big piece of software, and they were marketing it based on its data benefits. And I was like, no, and it was fine because they're just starting. This is a friend of mine, and I said, what do the people that might buy this want? What do they really want? Because if you start to understand people and what they want and talk about what they want, they'll check out whatever you point at.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, they'll check out what you want to point at because they're so moved that you get them. So follow-up is continually and regularly communicating and then inviting people to interact with you some way, and or noticing if there are some people that are interacting a lot, like in a Facebook group.
Yep.
Saying hi and saying that, like, if you get to know someone, and like, let's say I watched something about swimming and it made me think of you and your grandkids. I might say to you, Bridget, I just saw the cutest little video of this little girl in her first swim meet. It made me think of the grandkids. I hope everybody's right. That would be a thoughtful thing to do. It's not a move. It's
right.
It's caring about people in my community and knowing what they're into, or knowing where they're traveling, or knowing, knowing things about people. And the average person doesn't ever take the time to do that.
Oh, I agree.
When you do that, what happens is they become much more attuned to you. They start watching your stuff closer. They start jumping on your lives more often. They start writing to you because they feel safe around you. And when they feel safe, it's really easy to say, do you want to do a one-on-one session? I don't know if you were looking to invest in something, but or do you want to try the product? It's $29. Or do you want to, do you want to use some of these household cleaners for a month and see how you feel, or see if it helps with your breathing?
Right.
They know that you care versus you're trying to get them. And that's the missing link. The follow-up is just loving on the people and asking questions and then inserting things that would be helpful to them. And some of them they can buy, and some of them, like, I recommend things all day. A lot of them I don't make a dime on. So then when I do recommend.
Yes.
When I do recommend something I make money on, nobody thinks it's weird. You follow that?
That makes sense.
I can tell you right now, my favorite restaurant in town. I could tell you my favorite this, my favorite that. Oh, I love this, or these, like these ponytail holders that I use now.
Yes.
They look like phone cords, right? And everybody asks me about them because they don't make my hair break. Because I'm getting older, my hair breaks.
Right.
I literally carry extra ones in my purse and I hand them to people. Everywhere I go, and they're like, "Oh my!" I said, "I got them at Sephora. Here's one for you." They're like, "What? Why are you giving me one?" I'm like, "Because if they're hard to find and you may not get to Sephora soon, here."
Right.
And they're so freaked out by the fact that I hand them one. That's the type of junk. I send little notes to people. I just do goofy stuff. It's just mom stuff.
A nice person. Being a genuine nice person.
Mm-hmm. And then all I'm doing is using leverage of Facebook groups, the leverage of an autoresponder, the leverage of, like, right now, we're doing this and working with you, but I'm also creating a piece of content. So I just double dipped. I created leverage. All I'm ever doing is creating leverage. Now I can tell, like, people in network marketing, they go to convention, They don't build a list. They go to convention, they come home, and now they have to start calling everybody up to tell them about their new product, right? And they're dialing the going nuts. I send out an email, go, oh my God, you're not going to believe what they just came out with. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the link. If anybody wanted to try it with me, I just got mine. And I'll sell 100. And everybody's like, how do you do that? Well, it's the day-to-day gathering of the people, inviting them to my list.
Right.
Day-to-day reaching out and connecting with people. So then when I do put out an offer, it's no big deal. It's the day-to-day. And it's just like the day-to-day of bringing up kids. If you don't train your kids to do the right thing when they're little, you're going to have a problem later, right?
That's right.
If you don't build a list all along, you find yourself in a deficit and behind the 8 ball. If you don't take your product daily, you know, we're utilizing a product. The reason why I'm doing so well is because I take the darn product every day, on time, the way I'm supposed to. And it works. What a crazy idea. Hypnosis, I know you know.
Go figure.
I do hypnosis with Ray Williams. Here, let me tell you a backstory. You know why I'm doing these sessions? Because I got into a rut where I just didn't want to book any appointments and I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just in this rut. I'd been through some personal stuff. And I said, Ray, I don't even, you know, I'm never, by the way, if you ever work with Ray Williams, don't tell him that you're having a problem doing something, because the next thing you know, he swamis you and you're putting it. I was like, look, I just can't even bring myself to make any appointments, this and that. And he goes, close your eyes. I'm like, oh God, here we go. So we do a little hypnosis session about this. And then I came up with this idea. And I have done, I think I told him 17 appointments since Tuesday. 17 appointments since Tuesday. So I went from not being willing to book one to doing 17. Now, why am I telling you that? The reason why is because if I'm going to work with a mentor like Ray, I'm going to do whatever he says. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to take a product, I'm going to take the product properly. If I'm going to build a list, every day I'm going to make sure I get some leads, opt-ins, whether I invite them personally or whether I push them to a site to opt in, I'm going to do it every day. If there's any secret to follow up, it's just following up. You know what I mean? Like there's no.
Yes.
Everybody gets mad at me because my answers are so like, come on, there's got to be more. Yeah. I mean, write them at least 3 times a week. Go in and go live, you know, as often as you can. Provide.
I'm sorry. I do have a question about, you know, sometimes people just are so hesitant to give that email address. I don't really, you know, I'm slowly building my list. Okay. Got a very small list. And yes, they communicate.
Is it more than 5 people?
Yeah, it's probably 12.
That's perfect though. Okay. Let me teach you a couple tricks.
Okay.
If somebody thinks, hey, Bridget, can I get your email address so I can send you obnoxious letters every day trying to sell you crap?
Yeah, no way.
Hey, I just did a Facebook Live and you say something and I go, hey, Bridget, I have a great newsletter. I send out stuff like this all the time. You just commented you liked something. Mm-hmm. I send out, you know, great stuff all the time. Would you like me to put you on it? Nobody says no. Ever. 1, it's about energy. And 2, it's about whether they perceive there's some value there. Do you know about the Aweber? Do you use Aweber for an autoresponder?
Yes, I have it.
You know about the app on the phone?
Yes, where you can load their email in there. Yes. Like I said, got a lot of apps, got a lot of info, just got to kind of start reeling it in and using them. You know, I think that's more about what it is. Actually, to be quite honest, hadn't gotten a lot of traction with, you know, trying to get people's emails or whatever until now. And it's like all of a sudden and I see it. So I'm like, okay, I need to get my act together, because before I just dabbled in it. It was fun. I love social media.
When you dabble, you get results.
Exactly.
When you decide, I'm going to invite at least 5 people to my list today. Now you can do it on Facebook with a capture page. You can say, hey guys, you know, come this, I'm sending out some info on, you know, whatever you want to, something valuable. Like I've been promoting my YouTube channel again because I knew I'd be doing these. And I'm like, hey, you want to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I go live? I'm doing some tremendous sessions over the next week or so. You definitely want to be on. I feel good about saying, hey, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's some good stuff coming, right? I feel good about telling people, jump on my newsletter so you can get all my training and ideas and different things that are going on. I feel good about telling people to go opt in when there's a giveaway. Like sometimes I give something away. You know, hey, go put in your name and email. I just whipped this up. Go put in your name and email and download my free cheat sheet on whatever. Okay, I feel good about that. I feel good about individually inviting people, and I do. It's all about the attitude that you have behind the invitation or the promotional process.
I gotcha.
When we're not sure that we can provide something of value to someone, I hate that terminology, but whatever. When we think there's something funky, we tend to not invite. We tend to not promote because we think there's something funky. When we think we might really help someone, we'll promote all day.
Right. We're anxious to. We're excited about it. It's no different than like when a kid gets something, they want to share it with all their friends. And I kind of feel like that's how I feel right now, you know, because I'm like, I know that there's other people that are in the same situation that I am. Maybe they're not my age, but, you know, they're looking at all those years of gaining and losing and crazy diets and all that stuff. And, you know, now it's like, okay, we all know that doesn't work. So let's try just, you know, trying to make some better choices and tracking it, and let's help it and encourage each other. And I mean, it's like everybody, more people than I would have expected. And the fact that, you know, you can't ever assume that somebody that's maybe thin is happy where they're at.
No.
You know, a lot of times I think we only look at, oh man, she's got a lot to lose or what have you. You know, I need to talk to her. Every mind has a vision and how they feel. And it's not all about what the scale says. It's more about how do they feel inside. And for me, it doesn't matter what the number is, you know, how my clothes feel, how I feel about myself. My confidence gets boosted. So I want, you know, it's something I want to share with people. And I think that people gravitate when they feel that it's genuine. And I truly mean that. You know, I don't want to be, like I said, it's not about making money. Yeah, it's going to be nice. That's going to be a, you know, bonus. But really, truly, I want to be able to help people. I've always been a people person, and you know, I'm really excited about it.
It's really, it's the same as anything. I was reluctant. I watched my friend go from welfare to making millions with his business, right? I watched my friend lose an incredible amount of weight. I watched a lot of, I mean, I've emceed her events. I've been on trips with her people. I've watched all these people lose all this weight. I would never swallow the damn stuff. Right? I didn't. I just didn't. I wasn't ready. I wasn't in the right place. And I also kind of sort of knew in my heart, I wasn't ready to go back into the field. And I kind of knew if I tried it, I knew it worked. And then if I knew what would happen. So I finally did, right? I finally did. And I finally decided, all right, I'm going to go. And one of the reasons why I didn't want to market anything having to do with health, wellness, or weight loss was because I had a really bad experience. I started in the industry in a weight loss company. And I lost over 120 pounds. And then I had one of the leaders. Yeah, I mean, I looked pretty darn good. And I had one of the leaders pull me aside at a meeting one day and very nastily tell me that I wasn't at my optimal weight and I should be embarrassed.
Oh my God.
It literally destroyed me.
Yeah.
I had worked so hard and I thought I looked beautiful. And apparently my thighs were not thin enough or whatever. And she destroyed me. And the pain of that, the idea of having people looking at me again and judging me was so overwhelming that I couldn't even handle it. Now, I've changed a lot and I've grown a lot as a person. And this time I've just decided to let everybody see everything. And I'm documenting the journey and talking about the journey and not trying to sell anyone anything, but really more talking about what's happening with me. And it's actually made people gravitate towards me even more. But back then I wasn't, you know, I was new in the industry and I was a younger woman and I wasn't as developed as a human being. And I was super self-conscious and I was super worried and I was all of it, everything somebody said to me scared me. Today, I'm like, what are you going to do to me? Look, what are you going to do to me? You know, I'm in my 50s now. Now I'm like, look.
Yeah. Yeah, go right ahead.
I don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah, snap that Z, girl.
Sensibility. I was unsure in business. I was unsure in my body. I was unsure in all this stuff. So, and it's also the day and age of social media and video. So we didn't have video back then. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any of this stuff. I always think people say it's hard. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So easy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Being transparent and just having a good time and just being who you are is one of the most attractive things you can do. But as soon as people are attracted, you have to invite to the list. I don't invite to opportunity. I don't invite to product out of the gate. I want people in my environments, Facebook group or list. I'm a list person. I've been doing this a long time. I find the list to be more secure. A lot of people are really into the Facebook groups. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is that you take someone that's kind of checking you out in any capacity and saying, hey, why don't you come in this little environment in here? Inside of that environment, we can be more open. Like people who get on my newsletter, they know I'm going to offer things. It's not a surprise. You know? So when I do offer something, all my letters are stories. Once in a blue moon, there's something like that's a really blatant pitch. And I even tell them up front, you know, hey, this thing's ending tonight. This is going to be like blatant, straight up. There's no time for me to pussyfoot around, you know, and everybody appreciates my candor. Most of the people that are around me are in the industry, have been around the industry. I don't have to make believe I'm not in the industry or, you know, I'm straightforward.
They know.
So follow up is caring. Okay. I'd love to tell you. And in fact, if you go in, you know, because I don't want to spend your private hour with you on stuff that's available elsewhere. I just did training on follow-up recently. You can go watch it. And it's the sequence, you know, if somebody's using products and stuff, that sequence is in there. But follow-up for your brand is being present, not disappearing, sharing information, sharing things that are going on with and for you. You know, pulling articles, pulling videos, you know, like I'm always on the search for something that would serve my audience.
Yeah.
You see me as this type of person. When the kids were growing up, were you the type of person that would see something in the store and it was like a little treat? Didn't have to be expensive or something, but you'd pick it. Oh, the girls would love this, or the boys would love this. You were that person, right?
When I had the money, yeah.
A little nothing, you know, a little candy or something, whatever.
Yes.
That you're the type of person that probably would see things and go, "Ooh, that would be a great treat," or let me pick up this kind of ice cream because everybody likes this kind, or whatever it may be.
Or let me get this card and send it in the mail, which people don't do anymore.
Whatever it might be. I was always the person that I'd see something in my kid's favorite color, or I'd see something that, you know, I know my mom likes cardinals. So I see little, you know, she likes cardinals. So I buy her things cardinals. I just know she likes cardinals. When you become that person that actually cares about the people in your environment, and you notice that they're really into something and you send them a little video you saw, you just take a minute and say, hey, I saw this, made me think of you. Nobody does that. When you, like I write my list and I'll talk about or edify somebody that I was talking to. Like, don't be surprised. You never know. I might write a letter about this session. and then they'll write me back and they're like, I can't believe you said that. And I can't believe this and that. And I was like, well, it just happened. It was on my heart. You know, I wasn't not fluffing you. And I just, you know, or I talk to someone and they share something and I go share it with everybody else. Or I promote somebody. I've promoted other people's products and stuff that I'm not involved with. They're like, I can't believe you just did that. And I'm like, why? It's good. You gave me a bottle of it. I tried it. I'm not going to join your MLM. I'm, you know, doing this.
Right.
Everybody, the product's good. And if they, you know, if they're interested, go see you. And they're so blown away because everybody's like, mine, down.
Yeah.
Down.
See, that right there. I'm 100% on board with that. Yes.
On Facebook all the time. I edify people. It's so weird because everybody else is like, this is the best post I've ever seen, but I'm not going to show it to anyone else because they might go with Diane instead of me. Or this, you know, or I love this product, but I don't sell it, so I can't talk about it. That is the attitude that holds people back. when you open up and you actually do the video, like everybody does the 14-day challenge because Ray told them to do videos. What if you just did videos to help people?
Yep.
I know it's crazy.
Wow.
Just pick up on your phone and went, oh, I just learned this. This is cool. Let me share it with some people.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody does, because if somebody's not telling you to do the video, they don't do the video. If somebody's not telling you to do the follow-up or to make a note that Sally likes horses, Sally likes horses. I met Sally. Sally likes horses. Let me introduce you to my friend Debbie. Debbie has a horse. Hey, you know what? I could tell you right now, 20 people I know that have horses. I could tell you 20 people that live in any city in the country. If there are that many there. I know who lives in Wisconsin. I know who lives in Florida. And then constantly interconnecting people, which is the sign of a good networker.
And I think, after 30 plus years in corporate America, where everybody's scratching and clawing to make a name for themselves, I have always been one of those people that's pushed that thought process aside and been like, we have done this project. We have done a good thing. And, I give credit where credit's due. I know that without that good team, I'm not going to get anything done. I mean, if they're pushing in the other direction, I'm not going to get that project completed. And I sincerely believe that people look for and want to be around people that are good people, that they feel comfortable with, and that they're made to feel good. And really, I know it's not my job, but you know what? I take my job on this earth seriously.
Exactly, my job on this earth. And part is, in this industry, everybody thinks they're supposed to be slick, and it has to be fast, and it has to be this. You just told me you have a year, a little bit more than a year before you retire. Do you know how much you can get done during the course of the next year if you decide to go slow and build it up? But everyone else will go, oh no, it didn't happen this month. Let me start something else. It didn't work. Oh, that Diane told me to do this stuff. It didn't work. And it's so funny because everybody who tells me that having a list doesn't work never built a list. Because if they would get their list right now, I will tell you, and I can't make a financial claim or guarantee of anything, but I know from seeing this a million times, if you build a list of 1,000 people that actually know who you are, not 1,000 people that you bought, whatever.
Right.
1,000 people who knows who Bridget is, I'll tell you right now, you will make plenty of money. Plenty of money. See, because everybody thinks it's 10,000 and 100,000. I have beaten. I remember I was talking to guy, and he wanted me to do a course on list building. And I said, well, I need to tell you the truth then, because you may not want me to do it. And he was like, well, what? And he goes, you win all our contests. You're, our top person, beaten many, many, many slick marketers. And I showed him how big my list was. It's tiny. He goes, you got to be kidding me. Because I literally logged in on a screen share to show him because he didn't believe me. He goes, how could that be? And I said, well, this is this many people that trust me. But everybody else has a bunch of email addresses of people that half the time don't even know who they are.
And really don't even know. Yeah. And I don't want to be that person. I want to be that person that when you're talking to somebody else and they're bringing up something, you're like, you know what, Bridget, that she just went through that, and you know what, let me hook you up with her. That's what I'm looking for. Because
and it's person by person, day by day. I have a client right now that got his list up to, it's like 75 people, and he still thinks it's crummy. He doesn't want to write the list. We're going to make some money today. Let's go write the list. And they're like, there's only 75 people. What's going to happen? I said, 75 people who know you and personally decided to be on your email newsletter. I said, let's go write the list. We write the list. And they freak out. They're like, oh my God, it worked. I'm like, it works.
Yes. And I really believe, one thing that I think is most important when you start a journey like this, yes, I think that some people, I've often said that I could sell poop to people because they just, they believe in what I say, and because I'm honest and I'm truthful. But I think that sometimes there's a good fit and sometimes there's maybe not so good a fit. And some things are more natural. They just fall into place. And when that happens, if you've got that kind of personality and you're working towards being truthful and honest with people, I think that it's a win-win in all directions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
the tools that we have today just give us leverage. Facebook Live allows us to talk to, in the beginning, we're talking to 5, 10, 15 people. As we build it up and we're consistent, we're talking, I can do a Facebook Live. If I actually announce I'm doing a Facebook Live, I'll get a couple hundred people. And that's not huge compared to some of my colleagues. When I do a webinar, I get a couple hundred people to come to a webinar, which is rare. Most people can't. And that's literally person by person, accumulating people that trust me. And I value, I have customers that have been with me for 15 years. I have, people that buy everything I ever put out. And I cherish them and I honor them. And
you love on them and you tell them how much. And see, that's what I think people miss, that they in the busy world.
It's the corner store. It's the modern day mom and pop book that's coming. Modern day mom and pop
coming back around.
Exactly, because that's really what it is when you have an online business, particularly in this industry. Getting to know the marketplace and having them know you is the same as everybody knowing that your store is on the corner of this street and that street. Everybody I grew up in New York City. Everybody knew all the people that owned the little stores.
Oh yeah.
We still talk about them. My aunt's funeral, we're talking about, remember Pop?
Oh yeah.
You go in and you get a cherry soda or an egg cream or whatever and a pretzel and this and that and his wife and and we talk about the different places. And there were this cast of characters that everybody loved, and then the big box came in and all this other stuff. And there's nothing wrong with it because everybody wants a better price. Everybody wants paper cheap. Nothing wrong with that. But there's a huge opportunity again in that small town feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what I did. That's all I've done is I've taken that small town feeling that Ike and Cora from the Waltons or, whatever, that feeling of when people walk in or they show up, they don't feel like I'm going to lunge at them and try to sell them something. It's more like, that's how your kids are. And then what can I do for you today?
Well, don't you think too, like right now in the day and age that we live in, I mean, you can order your groceries online. They can be delivered to your doorstep. You don't have to interact anymore. Customer service or any of that. You don't have to interact with people. So when you do get that, it's kind of refreshing, when a waitress, our little gal that waited on us at the little tiki bar that we were at in this little hole in a wall place, she had such great personality, and I made sure that I left her a note that told her that, you know what, you keep up the good work, because we don't get a lot of interaction anymore. And I think people, as much as they don't like it, they love it.
And they long for it. So, and it's the same thing. We're in this period where I don't want to go back to not having video and you being able to sit in your car and talk to me. I don't want to go back to not having a computer in my pocket. I love my computer in my pocket. I don't want to go back. I don't want, like people will talk about TV and this is not, I don't want to go back to being the human remote control and having 3 channels that didn't.
And holding your arm so that the channel came in right. Yeah.
Yeah, human remote control, and I'd have to stand there and hold, and you're putting tin foil on your thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that because everything's on demand now and I can watch what I want when I want. I like that I can record myself, whatever. I don't want to go back. But what I do want is meaningful interaction.
Absolutely.
And when I started in this industry, nobody knew what a network marketing company was. Certainly there was no such thing as affiliate marketing. So when I started, I didn't know there were any other options, there were any other choices. I was where I was. Today, everybody knows. There's dozens, if not hundreds of choices. There's options, who you work with, who you engage with, etc. There's choices. So we have to oscillate. We have to become known, building the brand. We have to, have ways to communicate with people. Back in the day, you'd, sit and call your whole team.
Yeah.
Nobody can do that anymore. And nobody picks up the phone anymore.
Rarely. You're right.
I don't. I always tell people, text me ahead and let me know you're calling if you're calling so I know it's you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to pick up the phone because most of it's junk.
Robocalls.
Yeah. Well, that'll get fixed sooner or later. Marketers ruin everything, Mr. Vaynerchuk says, and he's right, because I guess there's a loophole on the cell phones. So they can't call your landline, they'll get fined, but they can call your cell phones. It's only a matter of time. So they can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, what are you going to do? Marketers ruin everything. They're always going to go after. And now they can scrape it off the net. So they have software that pulls down every phone number listed on every website.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's why you get it. And then they're doing all this sophisticated stuff where they keep calling. So you block one number and they call from another number. There's this one company, this dude, he keeps calling from all different numbers. And it's this guy. And I tried to find him on the internet so I could curse him out. So, Bridget, as we come down to the end of the hour, we've done nothing specific and we've done everything. And if that makes sense, I think the reason why I haven't brought up a screen and made checklists and things for you is because I understand that intuitively you understand this process. Mm-hmm. Intuitively, you understand how to treat people. Intuitively, you understand, all of these concepts. Now the question becomes, what order do you put them in? And my biggest advice to you is collect the people and get them to agree, get their permission to put them into an environment, Facebook group and/or list, and be very diligent about doing that daily. And then communicating in that venue. Okay. There's always going to be a new tool. There's always going to be a new technique. There's always going to be a new technology, a new venue. And yet I've been sitting here out producing most everybody with the autoresponder that's been around for 18 years or whatever. I haven't moved into different tools and technologies, and I'm not saying they're not good, but the relationship and the leverage of communication is the answer you're seeking. Mm-hmm. So that people with a relationship with you and putting them into an environment where you can speak to them with leverage. Mm-hmm. And so if your list has 12 people, and let's say you make a commitment to this, and now you go out and you get it up to 25 and you get it up to 50, do not hesitate to communicate with that list. Most everybody's like, there's only 25 people. Well, you can only talk to one human at a time in normal circumstances.
Right.
So if you talk to 25 instead of one, it's better.
Right.
Eventually it'll be 2,500 or whatever. Same thing with a Facebook group. If I can go in that group and I can get 50 people to see something, that's leverage. And Facebook has all kinds of tricks to get people to see more things. I don't use a lot of the tricks. I just love on a lot of people, and that's why I get traction. There's tricks. There's all kinds of ideas.
Right.
It's simple. Gathering people, I call it the 4 C's. Collect, get them to look at you. Collect, capture, get their permission, get their name and email, or get them in a group. Communicate, which is that constant follow-up communication. And close, that's just when you drop an offer. When I say close, I'm not talking about closing like, so are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
I'm talking about dropping an offer. And most of the time people close themselves. I don't have to close people. Didn't you? Hello?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I don't have to close people. All I have to do is continually feed them information and make sure they know where I am and that I'm present. That's what people want. They want to know I'm not going to be left. The horror stories that I hear from people, it's amazing. Somebody will take $5,000 off somebody and then they don't talk to them. All these things and more than that. I see it over and over and over. And I'm just like a rock. I'm always in the same place. I mean, I'm easy to find. I do interviews and they go, where can we find you? And I said, well, go to any social media site and put in / Diane Hochman. It's DianeHochman.com. I don't have slick, fancy anything. And that's it.
And I think the flash in the pan type stuff, people are onto that, I think just be genuine.
A couple years ago, you could get away with that stuff still.
Not anymore. People
can talk too much now. And it's the same with politics. It's the same with stores or companies or anybody. If a store is problematic, somebody takes to social media, the word gets around very quickly. And then the news outlets are picking those stories up. I joke with people, I like to cruise a lot. I love cruises.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was saying to me, there's like always problems on cruises. I said, actually not. It's just that the media sends you stuff based upon what you've been, because right now the internet can track you, that, retargeting.
Yes.
So if I get pickles, I'm going to get ads for pickles, and I'm going to get news about pickles.
Yep.
So all of a sudden you're seeing all of this stuff. Well, the reason why I'm being sent all this stuff is because I indicated somewhere that I was interested. And news travels so fast today. So if somebody's doing something really scammy, we'll figure out pretty quick. Pretty quick. When somebody sticks around, it's slow in the beginning when you're just establishing yourself. I'm not going to kid you. It takes a little bit. But if you stay consistent for any period of time, everybody takes notice because nobody does.
Well, it's just like anything else, like my weight loss journey. If I don't stick with it and not, it's easy to get discouraged, but you've got to keep looking at the ultimate goal. And hey, am I better than I was yesterday? And that's the bottom line. And as long as you keep going in that direction, you're doing good.
Today, in today's social media, in today's world, we're actually allowed to talk about screwing up. See, when I told weight loss before, you had to be perfect, and we had to make believe that none of us ever overate.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, today I could say my weekend eating binge, and I could write a letter about that and say, I've been really on track. I've lost this much weight. I'm down 2 sizes, but something happened to me this weekend, and I lost it, and I ate a bucket of fried chicken. And
that's real, and people relate to that because they don't relate to that other crap. We all know I could never be that way, and you just give up. This is real. This is the real journey. When I go to the bar and I'm looking at, I really want a beer because I like beer, and there's a lot more calories in it. And do I make that choice and have that gin and tonic because there's less calories, or do I have a beer?
And then you decide. I'm going to have a beer and I'll just have one. Right. You just have to pick and choose. Luckily, these products make me not want to eat a lot of stuff, which is really wonderful.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
It's really wonderful, but it's all a journey. It's the same with, why did I do a hypnosis session about taking appointments? Because I just wasn't motivated to do something. And then I went and I got some help. And maybe I'll say, there's a good chance I'll write a letter about it, because this week has been so rewarding. The sessions have been off the hook.
Yeah.
Love them, and I forgot how much I love them.
See,
how much I like laying hands on individuals, because I was like, I'm just going to do group stuff, and I don't have the time for this, and I don't have the patience for this and that. And then I did the first one, and I was like, I love this.
And then that's the motivating factor that continually makes you push. Yes, I'm the same way.
Tell people the truth. I didn't want to do this, and here's what happened. I didn't want to take a walk every day. Now, when my friend that I always talk to on the phone can't go, I go by myself.
See.
And now I like taking a walk because it's become part of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and telling people the truth about, I was a slug. I was, all of this stuff. I was the enemy of the American sedentary, overeating, over drinking, over everything person. There's millions of people. I always say there's more of us than there are of the perfect people.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
So, your 14-day challenge, I'll watch for those and I'll share some of those for you and stuff.
Thank you.
Remember, when 14 days is over.
Oh, no, I have no problem going live. In fact, I know we're running short here, but funny story, between my husband and I, we have 6 kids. So all adult. I think the twins are 26. And it's funny because, wherever I go, I'm putting in my Facebook story, showing them what restaurant, showing the menu, showing, what we're doing, where we're going. And my kids are always like, Mama, what are you doing? And I'm like, my people want to know. They'd love to see where I'm going. And it's true, because people will send me messages and they're like, oh my gosh, that trip that you took was amazing. And I'm like, and it's just me being me. So
and this is why I'm not worried about all these specifics. You have it. All you have to do now is continue to do this and invite to the list and drop some offers. And when I say drop offers, just mention something you're using, the sample,
right.
the this, the that. Oh, that's all you have to do. I'm telling you right now, you just have to do it all the time like you're doing it. You grasp that you have people. See, most people don't imagine that they ever would have people. You know that you have people. You know that you have people watching you. You know that you have people interested in noticing your trips or whatever you're doing. If you know that you have people and you continually serve them and you get their permission to put them in an environment where you're allowed to show them things, that cost money, it's over. You'll do good. You're so much further ahead than most of the people I talk to, because they can't, like I said, well, let's set you up a Facebook group. Well, who would ever come? Lots of people. You're not there. What do you do? What do you do in corporate life? What is your job?
Actually, I work at the world famous Corvette assembly plant. I'm in the engine part of it right now. I'm on one of the future program launches, but I used to be a material supervisor out on the floor, and I've worked my way up that ladder, and done that for 30 years. So,
but that's cool. It's cool, and hopefully, do you still have a pension, or did it all flip 401k?
No, I'm one of the oldies that still has a pension. Yay! And benefits when I go into retirement. So,
I would talk about that stuff too. I would talk about, I am just so fortunate, and I've stuck with my job all these years. Most people don't have this, which is why having a second income is so important. It's
absolutely.
People need to set themselves up. It's a different world.
And Diane, before I started in the corporate world, I was a waitress, single mom, struggling, going to school, and stood in line at the Salvation Army so my kids could have Christmas. I know what that feels like. I still remember what that feels like. And when people are like, I'm like, no, you know what? I'm never going to get too old to remember how that felt. And I don't ever want to get there again. And if it means helping others out, whether it's, turning them on to the opportunity that I have, or just plain taking them somewhere, giving them a ride, I'm going to do it because somebody did it for me, and I'm going to return that favor.
That's Angel Fletcher. She was on welfare and everything else, and she ended up in this industry by accident. She tried a product to help her daughter. Her daughter had great results. The next thing you know, she went all the way up the flagpole. Right. And I met her. And one of the reasons why she's so good to me and has been is because when I met her, she wasn't doing nothing. And we met at an event. I was a speaker and she was the newbie kid.
Oh, cool.
I always helped her. And I never asked for anything. I never asked for anything. I always helped her. And then all of a sudden she was in a position where she was on all the stages. My life changed, different things tilted in my work, divorce and all this other stuff. And now Angel's at the top of the game. And so what does she do? She pulls me back in because she's like that. And you're one of us.
Yeah.
Don't forget where we came from. We don't forget.
Absolutely.
That's why
people, I don't want people to think that, oh, I'm making all this money and this, that. It's not about that for me. It's about giving back and bringing people along that maybe need a little leg up, because there's plenty of them out there that are struggling. Moms, I remember, I thought it was all about my career. And there was like a light bulb moment for me when I realized that my kids didn't even know if I emptied the trash, because they would be like, well, what do you do again? And I'm like, okay, I'm working unbelievable hours. All the time I'm gone, traveling for work, and they don't even know what I do. It's not worth it. And so I took a lower job and I said, you know what? I'm going to be home. I'm going to be there for them. And yeah, it can be rough, but I knew that I had so much to be thankful for.
You need to talk about all these things and more. You have so much to share, whether it's going back to making ends meet, whether it's talking about, being lucky and having a pension, but most people don't, how you have to pick yourself up, whether it's about weight loss and health and wellness, whether it's about wanting to be active with the grandchildren, 6 kids. I mean, you are the human Brady Bunch, right?
Yes.
All of this stuff, you have so much to sow into people. And I promise you, when you sow and you keep sowing, and then all you do is say, hey, does anybody want to try this? It happens. You don't have to sell. You don't have to hit hard. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It's just a matter of being very visible, very consistent, and very hearing. Now, a lot of people don't want to hear that because they want it to be slick and they want to create a funnel.
Yeah,
and
I don't need all that.
But I'm telling you, you have it. And you are of our ilk, and Angel needs to meet you and get to know you. You are our type of person that's just out you know, helping people. And you know, whether it's something as simple, like I try to keep everything very simple all these years because it's overwhelming and it takes people months and months and months to understand any of it. It's very simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
this has been great. Like I said,
I don't know that I gave you a ton of meat, but I don't know that you need it. I think what you need is to just do what you already know how to do. And this hour was for me to understand who you are, and for me to know how to continually sow
Help.
into you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because you've got it. Now the question is, will you do it? Because don't get sheepish, don't get funny, don't get this, or don't get into this may not help anybody. If it helps one person, if you do a live and it helps one person, if you write a piece and it helps one person, the piece was
it's a success.
If you got one lead today and that lead might be the right person, because you never know who's who. You never know. You never know who's who. I mean,
I know.
Angel was just another person coming up to me at an event that I spoke at with thousands of people coming up wanting to talk to me. And something told me there was something there.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? Who knew? Mm-hmm. And now she treats me like family and I treat her like family, and I'm actually spending 4th of July with her.
Oh, that's where you're going. Nice.
I have 3 trips back to back, but that one of the trips is to spend some time with Angel and her grandkids and everything else.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great. Well, maybe we can do something together someday. I love it. I love people.
Together or anything else too, let me know. I'm always
okay.
Sometimes I like jump on people's lives, like I crash. I send them a little thing if you see me. But anytime, hey, I'm thinking about going live later. You around? I'm always tell the truth. If I'm tied up, I'm tied up. But if I'm free, for sure. Okay.
Look, he's awake now.
All right. Well, thank you for loaning her to me. I really do want a Dairy Queen though. Can you guys run in and get me one?
We're gonna go in for sure. We're not here for nothing.
All right. Later, I will be in touch with you. This is going to be on on YouTube if you need it.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm super excited about you. I'm gonna keep. You're gonna get sick of me because I'm gonna keep.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. You know, I'm one of those that really. I know my personality type. I always liked that acknowledgement. I didn't get it a lot when I was younger, and you know, so I strive to hit the contest when somebody's running one and all of that stuff. So you're going to see me. You're going to hear a lot about me.
That's going to be fun because I'm a little further down the road, so I can give you some tips as you go.
That sounds good.
Just keep people in the forefront. That's always the key.
I appreciate it, Diane. Thank you.
Running around and thanks for coming in the car. This is the first for me. It worked out.
Hey, Wi-Fi in the vehicle is a good thing. $20 a month. That's all it costs.
I use my phone Wi-Fi and I'm fine because I have unlimited data, but yeah, that's cool.
You don't always have a good signal with your phone. You know, we're out in the rural areas and sometimes the signal sucks, but as long as it's a satellite. So as long as you're not under a metal roof, you're in good shape.
That's cool.
I do a lot of business in my car.
The next car I get, I'll have to make sure I have that function.
I can hook you up. You know, I work for a pretty big auto manufacturer.
Okay. Besides, I don't know. Corvettes are kind of low for me now, but I like those suckers, man.
Oh yeah. You know
what was this weekend? The Barrett Jackson Auto Show.
Yeah, you saw that.
It was there.
Cool.
In Scottsdale, but I was here, and they had a lot of Corvettes go through.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you saw, but the replica of the last C7, I think it was 2.7 million or something that it sold for, and it's all going to veterans' homes, or I don't know. There's been articles flying all over the internet. I haven't really zoned in on it yet, but
I was there on Thursday, so
okay.
On Saturday was the last day. That was probably one of the pinnacle things or something.
Oh yeah.
So awesome! Yeah. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited to work there. I mean, it's been an honor to be part of that. You know, we're the people that build people's dreams. We talk about that all the time.
And it's classic American.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's this very special vehicle that you guys are doing, and I just got goosebumps because I love all this. I
Me
love
too.
love this stuff, and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, it's such a it's something that people dream about their whole lives, and when they get one, it's really special.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank
All
you,
right.
Diane. This has been great. It really has.
Super fun, super fun. You're awesome. You're more awesome than I even realized. So now I'm like super excited.
Now you're going to want to be around me all the time, at least talking. Yeah.
You're probably going to get sick of me now because now that I know you, it's over. Let's have some fun.
All right. Come to Nashville. That's only an hour away.
I love Nashville.
Yeah. Nash Vegas, baby.
I love Nashville. It's a cool town.
Yeah, it is. All right. Take care, Diane. Bye-bye.
Thanks.